Hello friends, in this video we will see the possibilities of from stock market, and I hope all the person who are viewing my videos is experienced with the stock market or willing to go into the stock market. So suppose if you earn minimum amount from the stock market, how much you can earn in a day from a stock market. Whether you're doing intraday trading, whether you're doing future and option trading, whether you're doing a normal CNC trading, cash and carry, so how much you can earn per day. I think if you'll say that it's 2% per day, if you'll say 10% per day, you will not get 10% per day regularly. It cannot be an average return. So minimum how much you can earn, you can assure yourself that okay, this much of percentage I can earn. And I've asked with so many persons, and many of them say that 1% is okay. I think 2% I can make per day. But honestly, most of the people agreed with me with 0.5%. So let me calculate this, and let me show you that how much amount you can earn if you really make 0.5% per day from the stock market with the 5,000 amount of investment. So let me go to the calculator. Here is the calculator which I am using, the calculatorsite.com. It is maintained by Alastair Hazel and Chris Handel. So 5,000, and I am writing here 0.5 interest rate for daily, and I am going to invest it for 5 years. So let me calculate it. And in 5 years you will make one square decimal, okay, 2 crore 44 lakh 24,736 amount. This much you will make in 5 years, but my horizon is 10 years. So let me calculate it for 10 years, and you will make this much of amount. Can you see this? This much of amount you can make in 10 years if you really make 0.5% daily compounding. And this much of amount, even it's very difficult for me to read. If I read it in 1 crore 19 arabs 36 crore 12 lakh 95,354, so it's a huge amount. So let me write now, write down this here in 0.5. In 10 years this much of amount I can make. Suppose if I'll do this for 20 years, then the calculator, I don't know, I cannot read this much amount of number. So it's nearly impossible to make 0.5% daily, because if you really make 0.5% daily, then you know how much you earn in yearly basis. It will be around 446.77% per year. And I think there is no way where you can make such amount of interest yearly. And even if you make such amount of interest once or twice in the stock market, it's not guaranteed that you will make it on each and every year. So let me go to further possibilities. Here are the further possibilities. I'm not writing this amount, it's like infinite. This much of amount we have earned. Suppose we go for a weekly possibilities. How much we can earn weekly? We earn 0.5% day. If we think that 0.5% a day is seems to be possible, then how much it seems to be possible to make in a week from stock market? Suppose if I make it 2% a week, or suppose if I make it 1% only. And now if I calculate it, and if I go to the stock, I invest 5,000, it's a 1%, and it's a weekly. And I calculate it for first 5 years, because initially I calculated it for 5 years with the 0.5% rate. So I'll only make 63,731 rupees. This is how I'll make weekly for first 5 years. But if I'll go and if I'll convert it to the 10, it's not a small amount of return. Even it's bigger than the annual return, but it's not that much small amount which will make. So suppose we do it for 10 years. So in 10 years, the 5,000 will be converted into 8 lakh 12,343 rupees. And if I do this for 20 years, let me note down this here in the table. So in 10 years, we make 8 lakh rupees. And in 20 years, we will make, of course, it will gross the 13 crore 19 lakh 80,534. It seems possible. It seems realistic that we can make such amount. But there is a twist. You have only invested 5,000 initially. Suppose if you invest 5,000 per month, and then what will happen? Then in 20 years you will make 317 crore 75 lakh 69,791 rupees. So this much of amount you can make if you will invest 5,000 rupees per month, and you gain 1% interest from the stock market per week for next 20 years consistently. And you interest and you are calculating it compounding. This is the power of compounding. Now suppose if you think that 1% weekly is also not seems possible, because if you make 1% per week, it means you are making how much in a year? You are making 66% a year. So it seems possible, but it's very difficult, or we can say it's a very rare that we can make 66.37% consistently per week, per year, by making 1% per week target. So it's nearly impossible, or it's very very difficult. But suppose if we manage to do the calculation on the basis of annually, and if you make how much you can make from a stock market in a year. Although many people will say that we have made 100% a year, we have made 50%, we have lost the money in a year. So on an average, I want to say that how much you can make. Suppose for with a long term perspective, you manage to make 25%. And if you invest 5,000 for first 10 years, because in the 5 years you will not make that much amount of money. So let me calculate for 10 years only. So if you convert it to the 10 years, you will make 59,367. Let me note down this here. And if you will go to the 20 years horizon, then your 5,000 will be converted into 7 lakh rupees only. So this is how the difference is between these are the differences between the percentage we make per day, per week, or per annum. Now suppose if you also deposit 5,000 per month, and you make 20%, 25% per annum with 20 years of horizon, then you're going to make 3 crore 43 lakh 476 rupees. And this amount is seems realistic, it seems possible. So this amount is, I think, not enough for a person who have expenses of 1 lakh rupees today. But it's this amount seems possible to fulfill the requirement of a person who have 50,000 expenses, current expenses, in the today's scenario. So this is how you can make this amount of money. So it seems possible, it seems realistic that we can make 25% a week, 25% annually. But the reality is that you have to be consistent. And it seems possible, but it is not also very easy, because there are many big investors like Warren Buffett and Rakesh Jhunjhunwala who used to generate 20% or less than 20% annually. And even we are not that much of expert in the stock market, and we are expecting that we will make 25% annually. But still, if we will manage to do this with the mutual fund, with the stock market, because in the stock market is only way I can say that you can figure out these numbers, but in mutual funds it seems like it's only 12 to 15% you can make from the mutual funds. And it's up to your luck and your risk that if you invest amount in the stock market with this target, uh, it depends on your luck also, that you manage to get 25% annually for consistent consistently for 20 years. So and let's see the differences which we saw in stock market. 0.5% per day gives you 1 crore 19 lakh, sorry, more, it's much more than 1000, 1 Arab 19 crore 36 crore 12 lakh 95,354 rupees. And in 20 years it's like infinite, you cannot calculate it, it's not practically possible. So I'm writing like it's a failed plan. But if you go to 1% a week, which seems possible for some, which maybe looks possible for some investors, but it's also very difficult to maintain consistency in the returns. But still, if you go to the 1 week plan with the 5,000 investment, you make 8 lakh 5,000 in 10 years, and you will make 13 crore 19 lakh 80,534 in 20 years with only 5,000 investment. I'm not talking about monthly investment, I'm talking about only one time investment of 5,000 rupees. And if we'll go with the yearly plan with the 25% return, in 10 years you will make 59,367 rupees, and in 20 years you will make 7 lakh 4,907 rupees. So this much difference you can see in the interest rate can gives you the consistency which is not possible with this amount. Therefore this amount seems realistically possible, and it's nearly impossible. Thank you for watching this video. uh, Thank you for watching this video. I'll come with another good video in which I'll explain you the retirement plan which you can make with the mutual fund, uh, with the stock market, and with other investment plans. How you can invest and you can generate your passive income for your retirement even early than your expected retirement age. Thank you. See you in the next video.